Learning a tattoo sucks. Yeah, it does. Does it? What am I doing wrong? How do I do this? Everybody's better than me. I'm never going to be a tattoo artist. Oh my God, what do I do? I need help. Where do I go? How do I do it? Oh, it's just, I need help. And tonight, we're going to go through it along with what I personally think is the best piece of equipment that every tattoo artist needs and should have in their arsenal. And if you haven't got this, and that it is time to pack up your machines and vacate the studio. And it's nothing special, and we will go through it tonight, and this is my personal opinion. So with that, welcome to tonight's live stream. We have Dave himself on the sidelines waiting to come in, and Dave hasn't got a clue what I'm rabbiting about either. He's coming in blind. So what we're going to do is we're going to see whether we can work it all out, and then we'll take it from there. So let's have you in chat, guys. We appreciate all your bullshit. So any questions, pop it in the chat. We'll answer them questions. It's just a chill out night. We'll go through all this, and we'll just have a fun night. So with that, let's get Dave in, and let's see what Dave's been up to. Hey up, Dave.
What's up, Andy? Hey, buddy.
Hey.
Can we move the thing so we look like we're looking at each other?
Yeah, we're not. It looks like we're fighting back to back here.
Yeah, it's like I'm not. There we go. Now I'm looking at you. Yeah, I want to appear that I'm looking at you in the eyes. You know.
Yeah, you don't feel quite as ignorant, even though you're still talking to a camera.
I know.
Don't feel quite as ignorant, does it, when you're actually facing each other?
Right. Yeah.
So how are you doing? How's Dave doing?
Good, man. All's going good. Staying busy. Working. Enjoying. I feel like I was telling you before we jumped on here. I know it's only been a week since I was here with you, but it feels like longer. So I was really looking forward to it. Plus, I have no idea what your idea is, what you think the most important thing to have is. I have no idea. I haven't even asked because, we do this every week. It's fun to not know something. Like, cool. Let's see what's up.
The thing is, when I say it, you might not even agree with me, Dave. You might.
Right. That's the beauty of it.
You'd be like, Andy, you're talking shit. Get out of here. You know what I mean? It's just one of them things.
Booting you from your own live stream.
But it's one of them. I mean, we've got 18 years in so far. I appreciate if you could smash a like on the video. Let's see if we can push it out a bit further. Anybody that's here or hiding in the background and you want to see any more, subscribe, press the notification bell. If you're not on Dave's channel, go over to Dave's channel, which is Art Something over there on. Is it this Sunday we're back? This Sunday we're back with live critique.
Yep, this Sunday will be a live critique on the channel, on the Art Something channel. And just a reminder to everybody, Andy, as we always say, though, I like to put it out there, which we usually do on the critique days. But me and Andy are just two people with two opinions, and we just regular tattooers, nothing out of this world, not trying to be something we're not. But we do enjoy the community, talking to each other and talking to you guys. So, I just always like to put that out there. Keep that in mind. Take what you want, leave what you want, say what you want, get in the chat, yada, yada. All right, Andy, that's it.
Yeah, no, that's it. And I know I did an impromptu live on Sunday and we just chat bullshit and it went on for quite a while, actually. So pretty much same again tonight after we've spewed on. Did I get the email? What is the email address that they're sending it to, Dave?
artmesomething@gmail.com. artmesomething@gmail.com.
And it's back on the old format. Is this right? It's back on the old format. When you put the notification up on Sunday that we're going to be going live, that's when they can send the work in.
Yeah, it's usually around 5:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You'll see like the thumbnail come out and it'll say, hey, at 6 o'clock, going to be live. So once you see that come out around 5:30 is when you can send your stuff in to that email address. And we'll just go in order. So I'll find the first email that came in at or after 5:30 or whatever time I put the thumbnail out. And we'll just go from there. We'll get as far as we can. We'll go for a couple hours. in the past we've been able to get through them. It's hard to say. You just never know who's going to show up. So whatever happens, happens. We're just here to help out and share our 2 pennies worth of information, and that's about it.
But like I say, I mean, it was like Sunday. I'll be honest, I was just like bored. Old fart syndrome, you know what I mean? It's over and done with within the first 2 hours a day. So thought, sack it, I'll jump on. And I was just, which I was saying to you, I was surprised at how many people were over and about, really, with nothing else to do. So
yeah, they probably just finished. I know I got home and I think you were already like an hour and a half into it, but I had to get some designs ready and sat down, laid on the bed, and turned on YouTube, and Andy was live. I was like, oh, sweet, let's jump in here and say hi. So yeah,
like you said obviously because you got a young family, you said, and you've got things set up to do. So well, like I'm just an old fart. Sat here on couch and that twiddling my thumbs. If we get any older, I'll be knitting. Never mind what else, you know what I mean? Been knitting you a scarf, Dave.
There we go, man. There we go. Getting ready for Christmas already. It's going to take him a few years, you know, at that rate.
But before we, so like I said, I've got my theories. I have my theories on what is the most critical piece of equipment / equipment tool that any tattoo artist, whether you're learning, and especially when you're learning, when you're actually doing it as an artist full time, that you need to have this. If you haven't got this, forget it. Forget being a tattoo artist. Forget doing whatever, working on people or anything. And that is my opinion. So I am now going to put it out. There's 17 of you out there. There's Dave out there. So let me see in these comments what you actually think it is that is the ultimate, in my eyes, is the ultimate must and the ultimate thing you must have to succeed.
So he said, chase and said a cool apron.
Cool apron.
Confidence. That's a good one.
Confidence is a good one.
That's a good one. I have no. All right. So can I ask you some questions on it?
Yeah, but I will say confidence is a good one, but it's not the one that I'm thinking of.
Is it an actual thing? Can we touch and hold said thing?
You could touch it.
Oh.
You could touch it, but to physically hold it, you would, shall we say, right, to physically hold it, no.
Oh.
You can touch it, but you can't physically hold it.
Oh, I think Art You Later said eyes. Oh, that's a good one. You can touch those, but you can't hold them. Uh-oh. Is that it, Andy? Do you need your own eyes?
So ask a few more questions. So we've got eyes.
Okay.
Hands,
I didn't know. You got quiet.
passion,
like I was like, all right.
Patience,
patience.
soul, wooden bucket.
I think you do need a level of artisticness. I will say. I mean, a passion is a big one. And you got to keep that no matter what. Like, people are going to try and piss on that. Talent. I think talent is developed. I think. I don't know.
Talent,
when people are like, oh, somebody tells you something like, oh, you're talented. It's like, oh, I'm not saying, I'm talking about myself. Just in general, if somebody says talented, I always think like, well, no, that took a lot of hard work. You know, people like to say, I can't do that because I'm not talented. Like, no, you develop, you learn, in my opinion. Electricity. Yeah, that's a good point. You probably wouldn't need electricity. I mean, you're going to open a shop and be like, well, we don't have electricity because things are battery operated now. So you might be able to get away with it.
Like I've said, you can touch it. Would you touch electricity?
I mean, I wouldn't want to, man. I wouldn't want to. Depending on the amperage, it could be ugly.
Definitely ugly.
Okay, all right. Let me ask more questions. So you can't.
So some more questions. It's a guessing game now.
Yeah, might as well. I mean, what else are we doing?
I'll tell you what, Dave. I'll give you 5 more questions.
Oh, guys, what should I ask? What should I ask? I'm gonna give them a second. I'll ask one, but if you guys got a question to ask, that let me know because I'm gonna ask Andy it. Let's see. Okay.
That's Danik. That's got to be on it. Yeah, I don't think electricity because Andy started tapping in the dark. Danik, are you actually physically? Is Danik actually watching his screen? Can you just put in the chat? Are you actually physically watching your screen, Danik, or are you just listening to this?
Okay, all right. I got a question that came in. It says, "Does it have color?" Multiple colors. You can get this in multiple. I'm leaning more towards eyes again here because.
Danik, this is just for you.
All right.
There you go.
All right. Now nobody's got any questions here. Does it have color? All right. Let's see.
Once you get down to these other four, Dave.
You can see it, but you can't hold it, and you need this. You need this to tattoo, huh? Is what you're saying. You should have this, huh? You can see it. You can touch it, but you can't hold it.
You've got to have it.
Oh, you could hold a client. You might be able to hold clients, but I like the LSD. Oh, okay. Interesting. Oh, man. I don't know. Okay. All right. So I'm already tripped up by the fact that you can hold it or you can touch it, but you can't hold it. It sounds like that's what she said moment.
Is it multicolored as well?
Is it a piece of electronics?
No.
All right. Okay. I mean, I'm burning through. Okay. All right.
Just give you another.
Yeah, I heard it. Do you use it for other things other than tattooing?
Yes.
So we use it for other things. It comes in multiple colors. Is it attached to my body?
Yes.
I'm leaning hard on eyes right now. I'm leaning hard. I think Are You Later may have cracked it right from the get-go. Yeah, but he says someone's saying heart because you can't really hold your heart. Well, that's what he said. But you can't touch it either. Your hand, right? That's a good one. You do need hands. I mean, I've heard of that one guy learned how to tattoo with his opposite hand, which is pretty impressive.
You just got the one little more question.
I know. He's going to say imagination. But can you touch your imagination, though, Chasen? Going through the hills might lose you all, but okay. Well, be safe, Jason. All right, we got one more question. All right, nothing's coming in. Does it grow?
On, guys, questions.
Yeah, let somebody else answer. Yeah, somebody else. I don't know.
Dave needs some help here, so
nothing new about that, guys. I don't know, Andy.
Come on, these guys are in chat. They'll be week in, week out,
They're coming up with ideas, but not questions.
Yeah, they've listened to us, and they're still not.
Oh, that's a good one, Chasen. Does it cost money? Oh, dang. Oh, dang, this is different.
Right.
It's a part
it doesn't cost money, but it can cost money to maintain.
Okay, so it's a part of your body. It's not electronics. You're asked to sit on. Yeah, that's a good one. I mean, I stood all day tattooing, so I don't know that we need a butt to sit on.
So you've got it's part of your body. You can touch it but can't hold it. It comes in multiple colors.
Oh, that was a good question, Mike. Dang it. I ran out of questions before you asked.
And it's like, it doesn't cost money, but it costs money to maintain.
Yeah, your back probably. If it's attached to your body, it's a body part. You're paying for chiropractor. Yeah.
And rocks, health, nope. What's its most use? What's its most use?
Seeing.
Right. So you're talking about a strap-on dildo. No. Right. So I now need you to deduce. Again, everybody in the chat, now you've heard all that. Now I need you to put what you think it is now. Put it again in the chat, and then I'll give you a minute or so to put it in the chat what you actually think it's going to be. And then I'm going to ask Dave while he just ponders on this last little bit, because he sat there looking bewildered.
I have no idea, because
And the best part
There's
about
some
it is,
stuff. I think one of the biggest things you have to have in tattooing, personally, and I don't know, wouldn't say anything's, I don't know, is number one, but I think something that people lack a lot of, even myself, was patience. But again, you can't touch patience, you can't hold patience, and I know that's not the answer, but
I will give you one more clue.
Andy probably forgot the right question.
I will give you one more clue, Dave.
Yeah.
From where I'm sat here, looking through this camera into your studio,
oh boy,
I can see it at your end.
I want to say light. You need light. You could wear it. You can see light, but you can't touch light. We said it was a part of our body, though. So I don't know. I don't know that we give off light. I didn't know I was getting on here for 20 questions here. I'm tripping out. I'm glad I didn't ask. It's your
You wish you'd asked now, don't you?
Ears to listen, ambition, Jesus. Well, I believe you need Jesus, but I don't think that's what Andy's going for here. Glasses, that exactly right. What are we going with, guys? What are we going with here? What's our final guess here?
I just want your final guess, Dave.
Whatever the answer is, for me, it's the passion of tattooing. I'm with you, Dan. I think passion, patience, perseverance. You know, you got to beat yourself, and then you got to beat all the haters, and then after that, you just competing with yourself. But you got to be patient, dedication. I mean, it's true. You can have all the equipment in the world, but if you don't have some of the stuff they're talking about, and I'm curious, I still have no idea what the answer is, Andy. But we're just killing time until I see something.
Even with all this stuff that they're on about,
it's not. We haven't gotten
all the equipment.
Yeah.
If you haven't got this one piece of kit, you're screwed.
One piece of kit.
One piece. Yeah. If you haven't got this and whatever, you're screwed. Just forget it. Pack your machines, exit to the left, and it's over and done with. Because you're going to go nowhere.
Are we going to be let down by the answer? Are we going to be like, oh, you son of a gun?
No.
Oh,
because I'll sit there and I'll explain all the motives and everything behind it after we've done.
Fingers, mine are purple now, right? Smoke says motivation. That is true too, Smoke. I'm going to say motivation because especially if you're self-employed, man, you got to stay self-motivated and all that jazz. Guitar strings. Yes, I think, Danik, that is pretty much it. You don't have fresh guitar strings to whittle down into needles. What are we doing?
Yeah.
Purple fingers. That's real life right there. Dang. And you see it over here on this side.
I see it on your side.
You need a hat, probably. If you don't have a hat, then you're just not a tattoo artist, clearly. All tattoo artists wear plain black hats. Now there's time. It's on the wall. But again, I'm just so, okay. Hands, eyes, I don't know.
But
I don't know.
Your hands, you can touch them, but you can hold them.
Yeah. I can touch my eyes. I can't hold my eyes. I mean, maybe. My brain, but I can't touch that either. Probably for the best. A mentor, you could probably hold. A place to tattoo. Yeah, you probably would have a hard time like holding your building.
Your mentor, I mean, depending on whether it were male and female and you were male and female, if you touched them, you might end up in some serious trouble.
Yeah. Yeah, even breathing too hard might put you in trouble. I don't know, Andy. I'm gonna have to give have we gotten it right at any point?
Yes.
Okay. I'm gonna settle and go with eyes.
Correct.
Man, are you late? You had it from the beginning. Andy played us like fiddles, man.
It was for the simple reason you can't see with ease, Dave. You can't see with ease. Yeah. And you can't understand that you're not pulling the line right. You're not packing the line right. You're not screwing the skin up. You're not following the line. Your needle's not in the right depth. You haven't got the right color. You haven't got the right shade. You're not holding it in the right place or anything to do with that, which is all to do with your eyes.
Yeah.
And if you can't see that yourself, how are you going to learn? How are you going to continue to tattoo?
And I will say on a caveat too, as I remember and not to say that work is perfect by any stretch of the imagination. It always drives me crazy. Even stuff I post drives me crazy. But I certainly remember I still working and seeing like, why doesn't my work look as good as some of this other stuff? I feel like I'm doing everything I can. And you look at it and you're doing some things good, but your eyes are still telling you it's not where it's supposed to be. And I think there's a level of perseverance you have to go through and to continue to work at it, even though your eyes are telling you this isn't perfect. This isn't, then there's a level of like, this is horrible. I should know this. I should be able to look at this and go, that looks like shit. You know what I mean? But then there are, when you're in that beginning stages where your eyes are telling you it's not right, but you're doing, you know what I mean? You're still going through it. You're seeing improvements. But I see it on some of these Facebook. I don't get on Facebook very often, but when I do, apparently that's all I look at, because Facebook goes, oh, hey, look at these tattoos like these groups have put on there. And sometimes they are just so bad, Andy. And the people are like, what do you guys think? I just did these tattoos. And it's like, oh my gosh, like, are you blind? Nobody should have to tell you. You know what I mean? Nobody should have to tell you that is utterly jacked, and it takes a lot for me to really lay it on somebody. And yeah, I'm in those moments. It's like, what is wrong?
Exactly. Your first impression on everything is taken with your eyes there. And like I say, if you've got a reference, you can see what your reference looks like, and everybody should be working off a reference, really.
Absolutely.
When you're learning.
Even after you're learning.
You've got the best reference, whatever, and it's there. You've got your tattoo there. You have got your stencil there. If you can't follow them lines, and honestly, when you've done your tattoo, if you can't look at your tattoo, look at your stencil, look back, look at it a few times and think, wow, that's goddamn close, or holy shit, I missed the mark.
Yeah.
You can't, if you can't, like you said, if you can't see that, get out.
Yeah. And on the other, going down that alley even more, let's say that guy that I said, posted that thing on Facebook, and it's really wrecked. I've done poor tattoos, so believe me, I get it. But it's wrecked, and you're putting it out there saying, hey, I just did these. What do you guys think? Like, you can do a tattoo early on and not like it, and you can see with your eyeballs and go, wow, that's really bad. Like, I screwed the pooch here. Let me do something about this or learn from this. My real big problem are the people that do it, put it out there, and don't realize that it is jacked, real bad. Sometimes critiques aren't necessarily necessary. A lot of people send us their work nowadays. Yeah, they're looking for, hey, I see these issues, but what do you see? And I'm looking for a second opinion. But then there's people way before that level who don't need a critique, because it's just, your eyeballs should be telling you right now that it's all off.
Yeah. And then, like, on the flip side, there's people that send in for critique and the work's really good, and we look at it and it's like, well, I can see with my eyes that there's nothing for me to critique, really, because your work's good. At this point now, you should be using your own eyes and critiquing your own work to see where you want to go with the next level of it.
Yeah.
As you say, you go on these Facebook groups, you can go smash into Google bad tattoos or whatever, and you can put it in, and you can see that it's like, you'll be looking, line will start off like that, and then it'll come down and it'll disappear, and it won't be in, and it's out, and then they're going, hey, I've been at it, and what do you think? What do you think of my work? Do you know what I mean? This, that, another, and it's like, can't you see it yourself?
Yeah.
Do you need to ask people that is jacked?
You're right.
Do you need to ask people that, can you not see yourself that should be saturated in colour, e.g. solid from wall to wall, but you've not gone up to your lines?
Right. Yeah. And there's a difference between, and even now I look at my work and I'll see a line, I'll see a couple lines, I'll see this, and then like, you can critique yourself and you should be able to see these things, but then there is a time when you have to go, and maybe it's unpopular opinion, but I think there's little mistakes in every single tattoo. Like
It is.
I have them, you know what I mean?
I know.
You know what I mean? You look at it and you go, yeah, that line's not perfect there. You try to do better each time. But things are going to happen, and you got to accept, for me, because I feel like I always see all the negative in it, and I got to allow myself to accept what's positive about it, and move past it and go, okay, well, I like that tattoo. It looks good. I see where that line wobbled. I see where that happened. But you know what? If a person looks at it, it's like, oh, that looks nice, but I say continue to zoom in, continue to look at your work, continue to see what you can do better, and then give yourself a little bit of breathing room at the same time. As long as you're not going, as long as you're not just accepting it every time, try to improve that. But yeah, I critique myself all the time.
You've got to.
And I every single tattoo I put out, I have pieces of it I hate, but I have to let myself move past it, or there's, I wouldn't. Yeah, I don't know.
We do it. We all do it, Dave, and I'm the same as you. There's some tattoos I'll go through and I think, wow, yeah. And I'm looking at it and I think to myself, yeah, I really do appreciate what I've done myself there. And some it's like, especially when it gets to thinner lines and needles don't do you any favors. It's like, oh my God, did I really pull that line?
Yeah.
But then they're coming 3 months later and for another tattoo and you're looking at it and it's like, well, actually, it looks better healed than what it did when I put it in.
That is the beauty of lines sometimes, is that as long as you don't go too crazy deep, because sometimes they'll
as long as they're not blown.
Smooth out. Yeah. So if you look at a healed tattoo and it looks janky healed, it was much worse when it was fresh.
Yeah. Again, just going back to it, we've seen people send stuff in for critique and this, that, and other, and you can clearly see the stencil underneath, and they've missed the actual stencil line with their line work.
Yeah.
Now that's these. That is definitely these, Dave.
Right.
You should be able to see where your needle's going down and where it's following in. This is why I say it's like a be all and end all. It starts here and finishes here, and anything in between is done with your equipment, your hands, and all that.
Absolutely. And you're right, Danik. I should have put more magic beard hair for the flame effect. I just pluck a few, kind of tint the colors a little bit, get that like real burnt reddish orange tone in there, and it's custom. It's one of a kind.
What we want to know that you do that for the reds and the oranges.
Yeah.
But do you know for your true greys, you just pull these one outside and add that into black.
Get the side ones, Yes, they're lacking on the color side of things. Yeah. Like dig deep, you can find some darker ones in there. Might find a crayon or something.
It's thingy, but then again, Dave, at least you've got it. If I do that, look, I'm lacking in it, so I can't give any of mine up.
And you'll have far more on the top of your head than I have on the top of my head. If I lean forward, it's open land, man.
And none of us just put. Anyone know how to get a power supply to run a pen machine?
Plug it in.
That
sounds like an a-hole saying that, but yeah.
Right. You're going to need, if you've got a digital power supply, you can plug it in and you should have a button on your power supply that you can have for on and off and continuous use. If you've got an analog, you're either going to need a foot pedal or you're going to need a switch you're going to need a jack plug that's been converted to a switch on the end to switch it on and off. If it's an analog type one, you're going to need two. You're going to need two things to make it work. But if it's a digital power supply, you usually got on and off, and you can switch on and off. You don't need the foot pedal.
Yeah, a lot more of the modern day, or even modern day up to years, I'll have a button you could push to where it'll just stay on, just like a battery. It's weird, man. I remember switching over to battery operated machines and stuff, and I think he's being funny there. Oh no, that's anonymous. I'm sorry, somebody else.
Yeah, batteries work, but I ordered a supply too and won't power the machine. Right, we don't know what power supply you've got, anonymous.
Yeah, it makes a difference. It does.
It does make a difference, and that. best thing I could say to you is, boom, 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 is take a picture of it. Take a picture of your power supply if you can, and send it to. Holy shit. Send it to that email at the bottom, critiquemytattoo@gmail.com, and put on that it's anonymous and it's power supply as your heading, and we can have a look at it.
Yeah.
We can have a look at it, then I can help you better. So just send it to that email there with your heading, anonymous prepper, power supply, and then when it comes through on my machine, I'll put it up, we can have a look, and we might be able to help you out a little bit better. That's the easiest way.
That'd be perfect.
We just don't know. So I'll leave that there for a minute.
Yeah, better not leave it long. Somebody might pop in and go, "Oh, email critique to." Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
no, not today.
No, it's just the one. It's just
I
the
will
one.
say,
And again, for anybody that's here, I know there's a few more entered. On Sunday, Dave's channel, which is Art Something, around about 5:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we'll be going live for a fresh round of tattoo critiques on Dave's channel. Send your work in when the notification goes up, and the email address is, Dave?
artmesomething@gmail.com. artmesomething@gmail.com. What's up, Bradley?
I'll get
but I will say, Andy, when it comes to the power supplies, I don't know who I was talking to today, but it was the weirdest thing when I switched to batteries, because I always had a foot pedal. I know that the power supply, I could click the button, it would always stay on, but I had a foot pedal, so we just always push that foot pedal all the time, even with coil. And then even when I switch over to rotary, I still use foot pedal and whatnot. And then my power supply, after years, it died. And so that's when I went on the internet and found these batteries. I was like, oh, I'll give these a try. They were a lot cheaper back then. Yeah. And but they were always on, and it was this weirdest, hardest thing. I would always be like pushing the floor when I was tattooing, and then I'd let off the floor when I wasn't. And I even accidentally freaking forgot that they're on all the time. I took my foot off and I moved and put 4 dots across the guy's back. And that's when I realized, like, oh man, I gotta slow down a little bit here and get used to this machine being on all the time until I click the button to turn it off. So yeah, I don't think anybody has to worry about that anymore. I think most people are wireless these days. Most. I mean, there's not being power corded.
I know the digital power supply that I had, Dave, you could either have it on as a traditional foot pedal where you just have it on, machine will go, and as soon as you let off it stop.
Yeah, that's what I
yeah, or you could even press it once and machine would run continuous.
Right.
Press it again to stop.
Yeah.
Or you can unplug the foot pedal completely, and your power supply is bagged up, and you could just press on machine, on power supply.
Yeah, mine had that too, but I never liked that because I didn't have. I got used to a foot pedal early on, so I just was always used to that. So I went straight from that straight over to batteries, and it's on or it's off, So I never got used to having a cable and then pushing the button on the power supply and going. So I, broke a couple eggs in the beginning.
Right. Let me. It's just come through. I quite like. Oh, share. No, share. Screen. Window. And you're gonna. I am not gonna say anything because I know exactly why.
So
this is on you, Dave. This is on you, my friend.
All right, let's see what we got.
You'll get it straight away, man.
Actually, somebody sent me a power supply months ago, and I've been meaning to give it away. They wanted me to do a review on it, but
do you know something?
I don't know. I was like, no.
I've got loads of power supplies.
I know it's still in the box. I don't even know why I haven't given it away or anything. But nobody wants a.
I even got with an order. I put a massive order in, and they sent me a free Tatsol convention power supply, digital power supply.
Hey, right on.
And
this is, I don't know what I got.
I tried it out, and it's such a box somewhere. You know what I mean? It's like I don't use them, and I've got I've got an analog one. I've got digital ones. It's like, right, here we go.
Oh, this is a one little one. Oh, bud, that's not going to go in there, bud.
No, it's analog. It needs that that end that you're showing us there, Anonymous, that goes into your machine.
Yeah, I would hope he knows that, right? Like take that battery off. Maybe we're missing something. Maybe he's like, I know, but there's something else.
Obviously, your battery comes off there. This should go into the back of your machine, and then you should have an RC. You should have a jack plug which goes into one of these, and then one of these should have a foot pedal in it, or a switch. You have an out for your machine, and you have one for your switch.
Okay, he says it fits the machine right. I think you need a foot pedal, bud. It has no way of probably clicking it on.
Yeah, you've got. If you haven't got a foot pedal, or you haven't got another jack plug that goes in here with a little button or a little toggle switch on end, you're screwed. You won't switch it on.
Yeah, because this doesn't have a push button to just be on. You got that knob on the right. You're going to turn it on, set it to the voltage I'm assuming you want it at, and then plug that in to where the battery is on your machine right there. And then, but it has no way to actually activate. So it needs that foot pedal, or like Andy said, I think, a plug with a switch on the end kind of a thing to activate it.
Yeah, you're missing, because I'm assuming, Anonymous, and can you see my mouse? I'm assuming that this is plugged in, and then this end's going to go into your machine. What you're missing then is you're missing a foot pedal or the little jack plug with a switch on the end to go in this one to actually switch your machine on and off. There's no physical way of switching your power supply on and off.
Yeah, this is so this is like the newer kind. I don't know, guys. I haven't used it in a long time. This was somebody sent this a while back, and I thought it was a battery. And I was like, yeah.
There you go.
What's that?
I just get you a bit bigger so that people can see it.
So I think this is pretty much similar. So this was sent by somebody a while back, but I don't use them. I just use the batteries nowadays. But these digital ones, they have a button on them. You just push it, and it'll automatically, go on. You can hook a foot pedal. You have a power, obviously, over here, and then you can hook up your foot pedal and your machine. But the beauty of the digital ones, like I know what the type you have there, but these still aren't very expensive, and they have a million different versions of them. But there's a button on them. You can just click it.
Just keep rabbiting a minute. I'll just go grab some of them.
Yeah. Yeah, you can get some cheap pedals, man. You can get some cheap pedals. I mean, it's up to you what you want to spend. If you're just having it as a backup and whatnot, then yeah, man, you can just $10, I think, you can get a pedal, or you can get a nice one. But it depends. Are you going to use it or you're not? I've had the cheap ones sit around from a long time ago, and I pulled them out to test the power supply. It may have been this one. I don't remember. And it was dead. So be careful. You get what you pay for sometimes. I know that the pedals, there's not really a lot to them, but apparently they can still go bad. So yeah, maybe I'll just give this away on the channel one of these days. I don't know who would use it. But yeah, maybe we'll just give this away. I'll do that maybe on a live stream or something. Just because it's not going to do me any good, and somebody else might be able to use it.
I just remembered. I had one of them. Missing one of them.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, you
can buy them on Amazon. They're only a few dollars.
That's what you should buy. You should just buy one of those.
Just buy one of them. That plugs into the slot. And then there's a little button on end, which is instead of having your foot pedal, you just press it on and press it for off. You can buy them on Amazon. I think they're about $4-6.
Yeah, that's gonna be better than a foot pedal.
I stopped using a foot pedal and I went over to one of them. I just remember when you brought that out. I remembered seeing one somewhere, so that's why I said to you, "I'll just hang on." So,
yeah.
But that perfect just goes in, switches on, switches off.
Yep, connects two pieces of metal and tells it to send power. Do you know what it's called? Anonymous was asking. Does it have a name? Like I'm imagining, so he can maybe search it or whatnot.
Let me.
I'm sure it can be used for many different things. So
yeah, it is a.
So yeah, I hope everybody's having a good day today. Good day today. Good day today.
I've just put in Tattoo power supply switch, and it comes up. They come up straight away with either a toggle switch or same as what I've got. It's telling me because I'm in UK, they're £5.29, so it's about $7.
Yeah, that's not bad.
And one of the reasons I went because I found it easier, and the second one is that I kept breaking foot pedals. They kept breaking, going faulty on me.
That's what I was telling them when you stepped out. So you gotta be careful, though. I mean, they're good to have around in case for that surf, but they can go bad just in no time, man.
We've got here, Dave. I know you have the Bishop shader, but have you used the Packer to shade as well? Just wondering if it can drop the voltage and work a little more delicate without that 4.2 stroke being too much.
Yeah, man. I have the shader, I have the Packer, and yeah, tons of people out there. Oh, I'm getting reverb again, Andy.
You're getting reverb again?
Yeah, I just heard it. Let's try it now.
Just try it now.
Yeah,
you're still happening?
Yeah. But I'll answer the question anyhow. I do use it. I do use it for shading sometimes, especially in tattoos that have stipple shading in it. I don't do a lot of it, but if I do, I will use that because it has a bit more of a punch. Obviously, you can lower it down. I use the Bishop One Packer for all my lining. Well, I'd say about 90% of my lining. And I shade with it, especially on smaller tattoos where there's no need for me to wrap up a whole nother machine that I prefer to use for shading or color packing. So I'll use that one. And yeah, I will just use hand pressure. Hand pressure is the biggest thing when it comes to it. But you'll find over time that you'll get used to like applying a certain amount of pressure. So you might want a machine with X stroke because you like to push a little harder or whatnot. So for me, I do all my shade. I don't really use the Bishop One shader anymore, guys. I really don't. It sits there idle. It's sat there for about a month now. I use the Bishop One Packer for all my lining, and you could get away with using the machine Andy uses. I think that tattoo guy just did a review on the knockoff Bishop, and he really loved it. It came in at a 4.0 millimeter stroke. He really liked it as well. I think it's like $50. So you could get something like that for your lining and maybe get comfortable using it for shading as well. It's totally fine. I prefer this new machine I've been using. It's the Amala Grand, and it's an adjustable stroke machine. It's a swash plate, which goes against everything I believed in. And I run it at about 3.6 millimeter stroke, and I do all my shading and color packing with that. Sometimes I'll bump it up 3.9. It goes up to, I think, 4.2. It's not the same 4.2 that you're going to get out of a direct drive, in my opinion. You have more of a true 4.2 millimeter stroke out of a direct drive machine, but that swash plate is nice because I get at around 3.6, 3.9. I can feel it hitting good. I get a little bit of resistance, a little bit of pushback. I need to apply just a little bit of pressure, which is great for how I like to tattoo. But anyhow, I guess I beat a dead horse over here.
Just a quick one there before I move on. Andy, should I swap the cam to 4.5 millimeter? Right, Anonymous. Believe me, 4.5 millimeter, it's like an animal. It does it like an animal. I didn't even take mine to 5. I don't even want to take it to 5 yet. But all I want to try it. See how you comfy you feel. But just remember, you don't need as much hand pressure. You still need hand pressure for the bigger groupings, but you don't, especially for your small ones, you don't need as much hand pressure. It will actually just rocket that ink in, easy enough. But they're easy enough to swap. Try it. They're not for everybody. You might find that the 4.5 actually is not working for you. You might try the 5 and you might like the 5. But just try them. Just try them, Anonymous. That's all I can say. I can't definitively say yes or no. Just for my style and what I prefer, I like the 4.5 as an all-rounder. And what I will do, we have got an email question.
Hey.
I won't put it up on the screen because there's some other stuff on there, but it's from Matthew Doreen. And he's put, how does heavily scarred burn tissue hold ink? I tried a small one on a friend the other day to hopefully help his self-esteem. Well, what I will say for a start off is that I hope the scar tissue is over, and in my personal experience, over 2-year-old and is fully calmed down. I'll be honest, I've not had, shall we say, massive dealings with burn scar tissue. I've had dealings with little bits, little bits of burn scar, but they are only like small parts, on the body or on the hands or mainly on their arms and that. that I've covered up. You have got to go careful as you're doing it. And I know sometimes I've had mixed results out of it. Sometimes I've managed to get it fine, and sometimes it's not. I've had to I've had to go back in and touch it up at a later date. So what I would say is, go in as if you're tattooing normal skin, but be very careful and be very aware of what you're doing. But be prepared and make them aware that you may just need to have a light touch-up session on it. But what I would say is, don't go in, because it's scar tissue, don't go in and overwork it to start with. But if the scar tissue's inflamed, it's risen, it's less than 2 years old, I wouldn't touch it. I honestly wouldn't touch it, mate. And that's the only advice that I can give you. I don't know whether Dave can give you any more advice. I know he's in background working his Dave at minute.
Yeah, I'm trying to get a design off to the client. I'm sorry. I meant to do this earlier.
Yeah, it's Pommy. I've got tattoos on scars and some just bleed out and come out as well. Yeah, because for the nature of a scar, I'm not 100% whether I'm going to get this right, and somebody's either going to put me straight, but it's something to do with the tissue, the composite makeup of the tissue, and there not being the same blood flow, structure of blood vessels and everything, and collagens and all this to lock it all in that's within the scar. And also I try not to pull any distinctive lines or prominent lines through scar tissue. I try to disguise them, go around, put shading or a little bit of this, that and other in the scar, and more disguise it rather than have the center of the design and the bulk of the design going through it. Because I always got told up to like 2 years old, scar tissue can move around still a little bit. It's not sort of like this. It's still not 100%. I don't think it's ever 100% like, but I think that's what I always got told. And it can sort of like shift them just a little bit, but you're not like pulling a straight line through it, and it does happen to shift or contract. And instead of your line being like that, then all of a sudden you've got one line like that and other parts down there. Your design's out of whack completely. But that's just my thoughts on it. Smoke's got on here. I had a tattoo over the scar on my arm, but it was an old scar. I still had to really work the needles to get it back saturated well. Felt like I was tattooing hard jelly. You know what I mean?
Sorry,
Danik, you're forever a talk. You know what I mean?
On your wounds.
You always get one. You always get one, don't you? And Danik just happens to be all of them tonight. Can't help himself. He must be bored at work.
I'm assuming so.
That's it. Either that or, you know what it is? He's gone to the toilet. He's skiving off work. He's sat in the toilet listening to this and tattooing away while he's sat on John. You know what I mean?
Right.
Skiver. That's what he's doing. Get some work done. You work shy, Danik. But yeah, so I don't know if you've had much dealings with scars, burn tissue, scar tissue.
Yeah, it can be weird. Sometimes I've seen some stuff that doesn't even take ink, you know. But now, these are the things that I think more time and experience will develop. That's why when I was talking the other day, I said, 5 years isn't crap to be tattooing, man. Like, the stuff you just learn along the way. And I haven't had enough experience to tell you like how long you should or shouldn't wait to do stuff. Because I've had scars that no problem, man, gone right over it. Sometimes because the scar's raised a little bit, I don't know, maybe talked about it. It can kind of throw a line off at times and make it appear that it's going a different way than it really is. I've had some scars that hurt the client too much, and we're not talking like, hey, I got this huge scar here. Can you tattoo the huge scar? But they'll have a scar that kind of like intersects a part of a tattoo, and it's been painful, and they've either sat through it or didn't. But no, I don't have enough truthfully, I don't have enough experience to preach on it, if you will.
I don't really. It's just the little bits that I have got.
Yeah.
But, Mary, Jason, Mary, AK, Jerry, Mason, Rouser. Here's a question. If you're having health issues and you can't work a regular job, should you continue tattooing? Hell yeah. If you can't work what you class as a regular job, but you can work a job, an alternate job, and that alternate job is tattooing. Yeah. And to be fair, that's where you would fall into my category. Because like I've explained before, I used to work construction. I like working construction. So I worked construction part-time. I did tattooing part-time. I had a bit of an accident, not major, knackered me back. Went back to work, did it again. I was off 3 months. Didn't earn a carrot, nothing. So that was at the point then when brother-in-law's like, it's about time you opened your own studio, because you're just wrecking yourself in that job to the point that you're not going to be able to do this job. So I learned at that point that I wasn't physically fit enough to stay in construction anymore. So it was the time to get out of Dodge and take up tattooing full time, and get my own shop. So like, well, take it up full time and actually have my own shop. And to be honest, as Dave will know, you can tattoo around you've also got to tattoo around what suits the client, but you can also tattoo around what suits you as well. Down to the point that days, times, the amount of time in a day that you want to spend doing it, what days you want to do it. Also, when you're tattooing, some of your clients, they usually appreciate a break every now and then. You know, you can get some coming back on them, this, that, and other, which then gives you a break. It gives your back a break. It gives your hands a break.
Yeah, I excuse me, I'm not a fan. We don't take long breaks. But here we take maybe 5 minutes, lets my eyes breathe for a minute. It's so good for you too, because you're like, for me anyhow, the tattoo's here and I'm here, you know, and you're right here. And so sometimes just like drawing or any kind of artwork you do, sometimes you got to step away, you know, and look at it from, you know, like a lot of times I go, oh yeah, that's looking cool, you know, but up on it, I'm just following the directions. I got a reference here. I'm just doing my very best to follow said directions and trust the system. And then when you step back, you take a little break after like hour one, you know, and you're like, oh, okay. All right. Let me keep trusting the system that you create for yourself. Yeah. But anyhow,
it's right what Smoke put there. Work smarter, not harder, Jason. That's it. That's what it all boils down to. We've got on back of that one, it's put there, but I'm not financially stable to go full time. That's when you do like I did. Do you know what I mean? Once you get to a point, you can go 50-50, 60-40, work your way out of it, make yourself financially stable, get yourself in, and then work your job, use that, and the stuff that you make on tattooing, keep it all to one side, which you can reinvest in your tattooing, which then all of a sudden, then you've grown.
Yeah, and you could also, I'm not saying you want to go this route. I don't know what the route you're thinking of, but keep an open mind too, you know. I mean, you could always find a shop that might allow you to like kind of be part-time there, you know. Maybe you can come in part-time, work a little bit there. I don't know. It depends on where you're at and how you're feeling or whatnot. But I will say that I don't think anybody's ever gotten into tattooing, and I'm sure you all know this, without sacrifice. There's definitely, I've experienced it, a lot of sacrifice in the beginning, sacrifice of time, sacrifice of money, sacrifice of a lot of things. So I know we had to really reevaluate all of that coming out of the Marine Corps and making a certain amount of money and then going like kind of right into tattooing, working a job, going to school, all of it. And then kind of getting the same spot where I'm like, I can't do all of this. I need to figure this out. And so I had to lose more money and to figure out how to survive off of even less while I tried to chase this sort of passion, this idea, you know. And you might find yourself in those positions where you're going to have to sacrifice for a little while. But if you're sacrificing, you're you know, like let's say needs for your family or whatnot, then you got to invest, man. You got to go all in, right? I mean, at that point, it's no longer, I do this here and there. Like you got to do it every moment you have, you know, because it's all on the line. If you're putting it on the line, you got to treat it, which I'm sure you guys are grown ass men. You understand this, but you putting it all on the line. You got to rise to the occasion to the best of your abilities, you know?
That's it. You're putting it all online. You're committing. You've got to go hell for leather. You've got to be 100% committed. You can't say that I'm going to go down to working 3 days a week or 4 days a week, 3 days a week on your normal job, and I'm going to tattoo I'm going to tattoo 3 days a week, but then not tattoo 3 days a week, because then you're just not committed to it. And like Dave says, again, whether it's family time, whether it's financial or whatever, I were pretty fortunate. My kids were grown up when I went to open my own shop. They'd fled the coop. They were self-supportive. But there again, financially, and I mean, I'll even put it out there, once we got the shop in, because we rent our shop, which is everything's continual payout, to actually kit the shop out, and I'd got a lot of stuff. I'd already bought a lot of stuff, Dave. But to kit that shop out and get the regs and get it decorated and get the stuff in it, it cost me and the wife, I think it was, I can't remember whether it was £12,000 or £14,000. So it's like $17,000 straight out of your own pocket.
Right.
And you can forget seeing it back until you've built up all your clientele, and then your wages are still coming in, but then you might start drip feeding that money back into it. But it's not really, that's the financial commitment that you've got to be in. You've just got to go, boom, there it is. Yeah. But then you have got to be committed to earning, coming through, and you will know yourself, Dave, because you've got your shop there, you've done it all out. It doesn't stop there. You've got to be committed. You've still got to be reinvesting. You've still got stock. You've still got to keep up to date. You can't think to yourself, my stencil printer's broke. Can't buy another. I'm not buying another one. I'll do them by hand. It just don't work. Yeah. You know you're going and buying another one.
Oh yeah, you're ordering one right now, and you're paying for it to get here tomorrow.
Yeah.
Or you're going to hand stencil tomorrow's because you got to wait a day for the new one to come in. And that's why it's always good to have backups of things. I have backups. I never realized one day my printer wasn't printing. It's like, holy crap, what do I do? Like, you got to figure stuff out. You got a client there. So I've done some interesting stuff. You got to be, there's no one there to help you sometimes, especially if you're on your own. So you just got to, it's on your shoulders. You got to figure it out. And the thermal printers, everything going up in price for no reason. Well, obviously inflational purposes and tyranny. But yeah, I mean, these are about $100, $150. I think you can get them for. I wouldn't say necessarily have two of them, but it's an expense that's, I'm ordering stuff every day. It's like I just had to buy more ink caps. You're constantly trying to see like, hey, what am I low on? What am I low on? Because you never want to be like, you go to grab another box of gloves and they're all gone or something. So you usually buy 20 boxes. And once you get down to about 10 or 5, then you order 10, 5. It just depends on if you have a big shop and a lot of people, then, times 10 it all.
It's like you said, it's like the other day, I was running out, I think I was running out of anchored, stencil fluid.
I just got that in the other day.
I need it. I'm running out. I'm not even gonna last next week. So it's like, right, straight onto suppliers, anchored in. Right. And then it was like, I put this in, I put that in, I'll get that, and I'll get that just in case, and I'll get that just in case. And the next thing it's $300-400 gone. £250, £300, $300 or $400. Boom. But that's just it's. I didn't necessarily say the other stuff that I bought. I didn't necessarily need it at that time, but in 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks time, I would need it. So instead of putting 2 orders in, I just did it there and then and got it all in up front. It's mad. It's just continual madness. And you've actually reminded me. You've actually just reminded me that I need to order some more size 10 caps.
I did too. I was running. I just I put them in the jars. When the jars run low, I go and get my big bag and pour them in there. And my small caps were running low, and the big ones, so I put new big ones in there. Small ones were running low. I go to grab the bag, and there is no bag. It's like, how have I let this slip my mind? So I immediately ordered more. They're actually right here. It's not a big bag, but I got a bunch of stuff that came in today. But shop towels, I use blue shop towels to wipe with, and I use like a roll for every tattoo because they're all multi-hour tattoos, and it's constantly ordering that. I should just put that on like automatic. Ordering, but yeah.
I've got a shitload of stuff. I've got a shitload in chat that I ain't got, so I've only got 2 Bradleys here. It's like, I think it'd be quite a while, and I'm fine with it. But when did you guys feel like you were ready for your first tattoo on skin, whether it be yourself or someone else? Mine was about 3 days after I picked up a tattoo machine. I went, you get on skin, but it's self-restraint.
Dude, I need to do a video. Not that we're mad, or maybe I'll do a live stream, but I have all the stuff, my first tattoo machine I ever got, and the inks, all of it. I just held on to it because I had a cool box years ago, and I put it all in this cool box. And I just love the box, so I've lugged the box around for years. I have no idea, like literally like 15 years, been lugging this cool box around. And I forgot inside cool box was all this original tattoo stuff I had. I think then I ordered it on eBay, and it came with this booklet. It was like 10 pages long, and it showed how to put the coil machine together and the rubber bands and all that jazz. And somehow I read this little book, and I kind of figured it out. And I tattooed a cross on my leg. If you've watched any of my older videos where I refer back to this stuff, you may have seen it. It's the same cross that I did some like blue. I was showing people how to pack color, putting blue in this cross. And it turned out pretty decent. I mean, considering I had no idea, and I added wings to it, it's kind of stupid. But anyhow, that was like a day after I'd ordered it. But the problem, this is what happened then. I was still in the Marine Corps. I lived in an apartment complex. What happens is when people find out you have a tattoo stuff and they see anything that resembles halfway decent tattoo, they're like, oh my God, everybody wanted to get tattooed. And I was like, oh gosh. So I tattooed a few people. I tattooed my wife at the time. Just out of respect, I need to fix that. But yeah, and I put it away because I realized, holy crap, people wanted like all kinds of crazy stuff. I'm like, are you guys crazy? I have no idea what I'm doing. I don't have a clue. So I packed it away. At the time I was tattooing oranges and whatnot. I was, doing all kinds of stuff, but I packed it all away. And fast forward like many, many years later, here we are. And I don't know, man, I was not ready to do the tattoos then. I wasn't ready to do the tattoos I did in the beginning. Even at my apprenticeship, I shouldn't have been doing the tattoos they wanted me to do. I'm not ready.
You're never ready. At some point you think, sack it. You give it a go, and it's like generally it turns out like crap.
Yeah, and I'm not talking about like some of my old tattoos. If you go on my Instagram, some of my tattoos where I was still very early on, but I mean like those would have been like gold medal recipients compared to some of the stuff I was doing. But and I think that's why I was lost, and I found a little bit of light, and I started sharing that, which I guess was not the best idea.
What I would say though is, if you're working on fake skin, at least wait until you've got some semblance of consistent line work, some semblance of either consistent packing, whether it be black, colour, but depending on your design, at least make sure you've got some consistent line work, and don't go with too small a needle grouping when you first start, because you can make a right mess otherwise. Try keep it quite simple, quite bold. Keep it small, like we're saying. It don't run away with you, and make sure it's so. What I would say is make sure it's somewhere that you can keep it covered if it goes wrong, or easy to cover up.
Yeah, and then just small tattoos. And I really think fake skin is just really good for mechanicals. Hands, movements. It's obviously, we say this a bazillion times, it's not like human skin, and careful not to get so far into just tattooing fake skin forever that becomes what you're so comfortable with, that skin is so difficult. But it's really good just to get the fundamentals, just to learn how to use the machine, maybe move it around, get this concept of what's happening with the needles, and I mean, even testing out different needle groupings, see what kind of size it gets, blah, blah, blah. So
yeah. One for you, Pommy. Hey Dave, got DaVinci app, awesome for stencils.
I have no idea what the DaVinci app is. I would love to, if you could elaborate on it, man. That would be awesome. but yeah, I don't know the Da Vinci app. Few questions that maybe other people might have. Is it a free app? If it isn't, how much is it? How does it work? You know, obviously that's a lot to type. I get it, so I understand. But no, I've never tried it, man. Maybe I can just look into it and find out. Somebody was asking me the other day about Ganga Black. I guess Dynamic teamed up with Ganga, I think his name is, to create this, signature black for him and them and whatnot. And I didn't know that at first. He just said, hey, there's this new black, yada, yada. I looked into it just a little bit, and it's like REACH compliant as well. And I kind of veered away from it. I didn't look much further than that because while some of the REACH requirements, I feel like I've talked to some people who use the inks and they really liked it before these requirements were put in place. So I don't want to go and use an ink that has to meet certain requirements. I don't know. I just am like, well, unless it's something special or is doing something different or is somehow darker but still has a thin consistency like a dynamic ink, then I'm just gonna stick with what I have. But I didn't know if anybody else had heard of this Ganga. I think it's Ganga Black by Dynamic.
I am. I'll be honest, Dave.
Yeah.
Anonymous, whoever's idea it was to use a headlamp, thanks. I use one all the time.
Oh, they're great, man. They're absolutely great.
And what were funny actually, Dave, is I've done that, butterfly tattoo video, and you said, you went, oh yeah, when I did that, lighting was okay, and okay, that was me a torch.
Yeah, I could see it as it would move, but I tried to use like this sort of a camera, like the Canons, and it did not like it at all. So I'd have that posted back when I was originally just doing like some videos years ago. And every time my head would look at my reference and look back, the camera would have to readjust. I think the phones are probably even better for that. Like they just adjust real quick and smooth because yours look pretty smooth. And I used headlamps for years, but I don't anymore. I just have a couple of these like ring lights I kind of put close. But I always have them back there in case power goes out. They're battery operated, strap them on, and they're some of the best light, period.
Yeah, I love them because you can just move your head slightly and put light exactly where you want them. I just love them.
Yeah, there's no shadows. There's none of it.
This one here, this statement here, everybody that's learned a tattoo is going to feel this and that's learning a tattoo. Mike Parrish has put, I am tired of working dead-end jobs. Love art, but I'm having trouble doing that because I need this job. We all feel for you there. We've all been there. And unfortunately, Mike, it's just something you've got to do. It's a means to an end, and you've just got to try and fit your artwork and everything in around it where you can. But I do feel for you there. Most of us have been there. Don't know about you, Dave. I certainly was. And that's what it felt like.
Yeah, it is again, and I think the reason I got to go backwards a little bit because if you're a young individual, which I know, which we now know everybody here is not, it's fine. I get it. But like apprenticing is a lot easier as a young individual, kind of like a college student. You know what I mean? Like they're not working jobs per se. They're going off to college, whether they're taking loans or whatever. But they still have the ability a lot of times to kind of stay at mom and dad's house. Mom and dad take care of them. I get that. And that's when apprenticeships are the easiest, when you're a young person and you don't have a lot of bills right now, where you can crash on somebody's couch for a while. That's like, if you're in those positions, man, go and like grab the tattooing by the balls. Go get into like an apprenticeship, show some passion, go there a lot, get tattooed. You know the dealio. But a lot of people were our age and older. Yeah, it's not easy to just go, yeah, I'm just going to throw it all and I'm going to go pay this shop for an apprenticeship, or on the flip side, or just go there and work for free for a couple of years or a year until, they're stamp me and I'm good or whatever.
Yeah. It's
just not possible. And it's always hard for me to look at somebody and say, well, if you can't do that, then you just can't do it. And that was pretty much what somebody said to me, like, well, that's it. And I did that, but I have young kids and they had medical issues and I couldn't be there in that way. I couldn't be there for free anymore. And nor was I learning anything at this. Apprenticeship's gotten a lot better nowadays. But what do you do? What do you do? Do you just go, well, I guess I'm just going to let that go? I mean, no, not for me anyhow. And I'm sure, obviously, you guys are here as well. You can't just piss all that away. If the passion's there, the desire's there, you find a way. And sometimes it's not pretty. And sometimes you get lucky too, you know. You might find a local shop that's willing to go, hey, come by here and there. But if somebody helps you, like to a degree, like really helps you out, try to be loyal to them. Because I think that it's hard now. I know a lot of shops, you know, might not want to take on apprentices because what's to say you're not going to leave them after they pour their heart into you. So if you get an opportunity like that and it's a decent shop and whatnot, be loyal to the best of your ability. I don't know if I got way up on a tangent there.
No, it's right, isn't it? It's so easy in this game. When you're learning or when you're first setting out before you become fully established, for want of a better word, feel like you'd have a piss taken out of you.
Yeah.
Whether it be with your existing job while you're trying to learn, because then your passion has shifted into learning and your old job then becomes like you're not really bothered. It doesn't interest you anymore. And anything anybody says or wants you to do, it's just like, well, you take a piss out of me. And then when you are learning, if you do manage to learn and you do get into an apprenticeship and you get into the wrong apprenticeship, then you find out that they're taking piss out of you. You know?
Yeah.
So this is why it's an horrible, from that point of view, the learning. And like the thumbnail says, this is why the thumbnail says learning a tattoo sucks.
It is. It is very hard, man. It's very hard. It's hard. It is hard. And then all along the way, you know, even while you're learning, you're seeing errors and you're trying to improve. I mean, you're gonna get shit on, you know. Maybe not all the time, but you're gonna get shit on. I promise you.
Got to have.
Promise you. I mean, I know I did, and like we talked about the two eyes. Like I seen it. Like I could see. Like why isn't this? And that's why I said patience and perseverance is so important. I mean, if you're just accepting it, then that's a different thing, right? If you're just like, this is what I do, this is it, blah, blah, blah. Well, then, okay, take the criticism as well, try to improve, but understand that you're going to run into things, whatever, you're going to want to quit, you're going to want to stop, and that's up to you whether you do or not. I'm grateful that I didn't. I'm grateful that sometimes you take it on the chin and you keep going and you use that to drive you more. But yeah, so on top of it being hard, there'll be plenty of people that, you know, shit on you, but listen to them too, right? I mean, you know, when someone's just shitting on you to shit on you, right? And you know, when someone's going, hey man, that's not good. That's not good. You need to do that. And people would both, right? I was listening more to the people that were like, hey dude, this, that, and the other. And I could tell even the people that were being assholes, they were still giving me some kind of advice there. So I was still taking it, right? And I wouldn't argue with them or get mad, right? This is all internet stuff, right? You can't take all of this to heart. But I was really trying to listen and learn from it and just keep applying that rotation.
Yeah. I mean, Jason, got a question? Cool. I like how I put it. Just quote a question, makes it easy to spot. I tried colour for the first time on fake skin. I tried to make light blue. No matter how much white I put in, it came out dark, even though going over it straight with white. This is where you've gone wrong. You do not add white to blue. You add blue to white. So you fill your cup up, Jason, fill your cup up with white. Depending on what sort of blue you need, if you pick like a medium blue, just put one drop in it. It will overpower it. Do not add white to your colour because you're going to get, even if you mix it 50-50, just with experience, you're not going to get much of a tone change. Always fill your cap with white and then drop feed, one drop at a time into your white for your colour. And if you want in a really light blue, feed. Don't use a dark blue to add to that white. Use the lightest blue that you've got to add to that white. And then just get one of those ink pigment stirrers. I think you've got one as well, haven't you, David?
Yes,
they're brilliant. Yep. Just zap it about and it's done. But yeah, I mean, I don't know about you, don't know how you do it, Dave, but I've always found you if you want in really light colours, you never had white to a colour. You had a colour to white.
You need this big of an ink cap, you know what I mean, to just keep pouring white in. Then you're like wasting so much. You're better off, even if you make that mistake, just get another little ink cap, fill it up with white, add the color, you know, little drops at a time, or however, mix it up till you get the lighter tone you're looking for. Yeah, great advice there, Andy.
Yeah, I need to boogie on through this. I'm like 36 comments behind everybody.
Oh, it's all good, man. We're doing all right. We're only an hour and 15 minutes.
No, like I said, I'm enjoying it, but I just looked up and it says I'm 36 chats behind.
That's okay. That's okay.
At the point, I can't afford to go with that. So they say this. Oh, they're just having a chat between the saying, yes and crap, and crap.
going through the chat, making sure.
Yeah, we're just going through the bullshit.
Yeah, that's quite respectable of you, Andy. Making sure everybody's voice is heard. I like it.
Yeah, I've got to stick that one up. Andy's using those oil dead lamps for miners. Yeah, I've also got a little Canadian corner just to make sure I'm not putting out enough gas, any gas pockets as well. Danik, you know, I can.
We could potentially bring up. I think what Jason is going through a little bit there too, and it is a struggle here, and the problem with what's that?
Have I missed something?
No, I don't think he's asked the question per se. He just conversating with people over. I've been just kind of glancing over. I guess what I'm saying though is what we do in here, helping, trying to give advice, it's very hard because every path is going to be different, you know? Like, is it traditional path? Is it like a little half and half, whatever? But I know that one of the struggles is in the beginning is where the work is like, meh. You know, it's a tattoo. It's not horrible. It's, you know, it's not bad. It's like got some good quality, still learning. How do you go from that to getting clientele, you know, to getting some people to trust you and to maybe pay you a little bit, not a lot per se, maybe a little bit because, yeah, you are kind of stepping out a little bit at this point, half and half work, half tattooing, if you will. I've said it before. I think if you're in that boat, the sacrifice comes in where you can't really charge, you know what I mean? You kind of have to give up the money in exchange for the experience of tattooing the skin. And you have to have respect for it too, in the fact that, you know, don't take on things you're not somewhat comfortable doing.
Yeah.
Keep it small, keep it simple, right? And just build up a little bit of confidence, comfortability in skin. But you're going to have to probably give these away. And I would say the best thing to do would be friends and family if possible. Obviously, you don't want it to be taking on strangers who might not understand what you're doing and whatnot, or get mad at you. But that's a hard transition, especially when you're on your own. I mean, even if you're in an apprenticeship, even if you're in a shop, it's still a tricky thing. Even then, it could be even harder because here you are in a shop, you know. But your mentor knows, like, good mentor knows, like, all right, you're ready to start taking on these little things, these little black work, whatnot. Even in that case, you're still under a bit of stress, right, and whatnot. But that is the hard thing when you start to get into it. And how do you get into it? But just thought it'd be a topic we could discuss. But I see there's a question there. Yeah,
I mean, it's just put, hey, what phone camera mount do you use to record for the top view? I can only find short ones. You use a clip-on flexi, don't you?
Who, myself?
Yes.
Yeah, I have it. I don't know if you guys can see this, but so I have this set up here where it booms out, and I have my other camera here. Hard to see, I know. But for YouTube, for going live on YouTube, then it runs up through my ceiling all the way down to my computer. But YouTube's a pain in the butt when it comes to using a phone. It's potato quality. So I had to do all this, but then the software, and it's a headache. So what I do nowadays is I go live on Instagram because it's super easy and the quality's good. And I just mount this to this boom arm here. And then, so how this is pretty straightforward. It's super flexible, right? You can unscrew this as wide as you want it, tighten it up. On this end, it's just this little mouth that opens up, and you just put your phone right in there, and you're good to go. And the head's flexible. You know what I mean? This is all super flexible. And then, so yeah, got all that money in camera work, and all I do is end up just strapping a $20 thing to it and then putting my phone in it. So that's just because I hope YouTube someday makes live streaming via your phone easier or better quality, because the quality is just horrible, man. Instagram quality is pretty nice.
I have a little vlogging tripod that I put on top of a table.
That works too.
Just turn it over like that. Just turn it over and just put your phone in it. You know, and just.
It's hard to. And live streaming tattooing can be tricky too, because, you know, if I'm tattooing a chest like today, I can't. I'm actually standing most of the time, right? My head's over and we're in weird positions, and to get a camera in there on top of all that, not going to happen.
You've got to come in on an angle, haven't you? And then you don't get the best view. But
it's even then, you never know if your head's in the way and whatnot.
Well, it's just a case of now. It's just get best view. Yeah, that's best view I can get, and then it's just move in and then just do it, and it's record what it's recording, and that's it.
If you're recording, you get what you get, kind of a thing.
Yeah.
But live streaming can be a bit trickier because, you know, if somebody bops in and it's just your head there for 10 minutes, they're gonna be gone. But yeah, the best stuff to live stream is I like to live stream inner biceps, because the arms out like this, they're laid back. Then again, you got to know your client too. If they are always hurting, you know, and they need breaks regularly, obviously, maybe streaming is not the best idea. But anyhow, that wasn't the question, so we'll move on.
Right, so you need to practice on real skin. If you feel that you're ready, Brian, to practice on real skin, I'm sure you'll find friends and family that are willing to let you do it for no on them. But keep it small, keep it real. Don't start thinking that you're going to smash, you know, big ass back pieces, full sleeves, or all like that. Just be real with what your capabilities are and work your way in from that.
Yeah, way more people. Yeah. And way more people are okay with, like, if you see somebody, a lot of times, like I said, I don't get on Facebook very often because for some reason YouTube just wants to show me these posts, and I'm like, I don't want to be part of it. And it's like huge. There's people that are like really just grab a machine on Amazon and just go straight to town. Like they don't learn nothing, right? Yeah. And they're always doing huge stuff. It's like an entire arm all jacked up and crazy. It's like, holy crap, man. Yeah, I mean, if it's jacked up and it's small, it's like, okay, well, at least you kept it small. You can work that out later. Now this guy's got to go find somebody to get his whole arm rate fixed. So
yeah.
And then people will go back into it and be like, I'm gonna work on it some more, and then just make it worse, you know.
There you go. Is this a promise?
Hey, well, you better not make your first dollar until I get there, man. And actually, one anonymous, if you send the money to me, I will make sure I forward it to Andy in the UK. Got my word, you know.
As long as I don't have to do any stupid on camera for it.
Oh, there'll be many Bibbit oils.
Yeah, I don't get paid on my channel, dude.
I need to send you the.
I don't get paid on my channel, so we get it for free.
Oils.
Yeah, so we get it for free.
Oh, those dirty dogs.
Bibbit oils. What we got here? There's so much gatekeeping. Who's that? Jason, so much gatekeeping in tattooing. Yeah, mate. We're bang on it virtually week after week about it, and people asking. And I don't see why there should be so much about it now, because you can go on internet, you can go on YouTube, you can go on Google, and again, you can go on Google and type in tattoo fails, bad tattoos. You can go in and type in good tattoos. You can put them, a good one next to a bad one, and like we were on about in this stream, look at them with these. Well, best tools you've got your eyes, and you can see what's wrong, you can see what's good, you can see what it's supposed to look like, you can see what it isn't supposed to look like, and you've got to figure it out then using your eyes how to get there.
Yeah, that's it. And I don't think there's that much gatekeeping anymore. I mean, really, like Andy just said, I mean, there's so much information on YouTube. I think it's just wise to, you know, do your best to listen to some stuff and let go of other things. You know, again, even some of the stuff I've said in the past, I would, you know, now I go back and I'm like, geez, knowing what you know now, I question some stuff. But you know, it's a direction, get you started. You know, I think. And then there's some really great videos out there. I don't really watch as much tattoo YouTube stuff as I did when I early on, because I was trying to learn so much. And but I do every once in a while. I watch a couple of Andy's videos. So now YouTube's like, oh, you want to watch tattoo videos? And I'm like seeing all these, so many people make YouTube tattoo videos now. I'm like, holy crap. I don't even know who is who and what is what. I'm just like, I better just stay in my lane. And
do you want to know what the sad? Do you want to know what the sad part about it is as well, Dave?
What's that?
I was sat tonight, and I was at one end of the living room, and daughter was at the other end of the living room, and the sad factor of it is that we were both there tonight. We both got giddy and excited watching first one of my videos to it 1,000 views.
You got 1,000 views, Andy?
I was like, 1,000 views on the first video.
On the tour?
Yeah, you thought I got 1 million subs. You don't
Dude, no, you gotta tell. You don't got to. I know, man. I remember, bro. It took 8 months for one of my first videos. No, I'm sorry, 4 months for one video. I remember when it hit 800 views, man. I was like, holy crap! Like, because I made videos and no one was really supposed to watch them. They were just supposed to be just some videos, you know, some random kid in his room or man in my position who's like, I'm struggling here. Maybe some other idiot can help me. Oh, here's an idiot. Right. And then all of a sudden things happen. And yeah, I remember the same thing, man. It's fun. You got to enjoy the heck out of Andy the entire time. Love it. It's fun, man. It's fun.
Yeah. And it's posted. It says it's gone from, because it went up to 999.
Oh,
and then
man.
We were like that. And daughter went, you do understand, Dad, that when it gets to 1,000, it just says 1K. It's pretty boring.
Yeah, but it's good feeling, man. It's good feeling. The 1,000 people, you know what I mean? Was that on the torped video? Torped? Yeah. Good. Yeah. No. I remember, what was it? You were live streaming last Sunday, and I looked at the. I don't remember what it was. Looked at the subscriber count. I was like, dude, you're over 100. What the heck? When did this happen?
Yeah.
And it had to be that video, maybe. See, you get more views. Certain number of people might click the like button or the subscribe button.
I'll tell you
it's fun. I mean, it's meaningless, but it's fun. You know what I mean?
I was watching a thing.
Actually, it's not meaningless. It's awesome.
No, I was watching a thing, and you know them little shorts that they do. They don't do a right lot because obviously my channel's small, but they don't do a right lot. But I tell you what, you do a little short where you take it out of a little clip out of your existing video and put it on. It's only like 15 or 60 seconds, but then it drives them. So you think, Jesus Christ, Dave, do they send them to your videos?
Oh, doing shorts?
Yeah.
I never did any shorts, man, because everyone's like, we hate shorts. And I don't like watching shorts either.
No, but somebody does.
Yeah, a lot of people do. I mean, that style of video is